Biggest honor to be doing this with Queer Comedy for Gaza. As we know, the Palestinian genocide has been ongoing for 2 years with almost 80 years of ethnic cleansing, apartheid, and oppression. Prior to that, even during the ceasefire, we've seen over 100 violations by Israel, which I don't think shocks anyone. So it really is my honor to introduce my buddy. I asked Dane to send me a little bio about themselves, and I can't take credit for the fact that this is a little funny, even though I want to. So Dane Hunter is a full-time sailor from the British Virgin Islands. They have no physical address, but can typically be found in the ocean, on an island, near a tree, or occasionally in a maximum security Zionist torture prison inside the Negev desert. So it is really my honor and pleasure to introduce you all to my friend, Dane Hunter. Yay! Hi, Dane.
Hi. Hey, everybody.
Oh, your drink is right here, by the way.
Thank you.
I feel like we're on a talk show, which is kind of cute.
Yeah, I love this.
You want me to hold this? Do you want me to hold this or this? This mic. Okay. If I hold it between us, does that work? I guess we'll pass it back and forth. That's fine. How are you? Here, you hold this. I'm really loud. I can do without that. How are you? Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm good.
Glad to have you here. So obviously we're all here because we know Dane very bravely captained a ship during the global sumud flotilla, the Paola 1, right? Yeah. So tell us how you got involved. Over 20,000 people applied to be on this flotilla, and you were like one of 500 to make it. So kind of give us a little background on like you being a captain and like how it became this.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel right from the start, like everybody who is here, I imagine, the main buildup of this was just weeks and months and years of being like, I want to fucking do something. I just want to fucking do something.
Totally.
And all of that kind of culminated when I was tipsy, scrolling on Instagram, and I saw a post from Carsey Blanton, a musician that I've been following for years, love her work, and she was saying, hey, I'm going with the Global Sumud Flotilla. And, okay, I wasn't tipsy, I was drunk, and I drunkenly commented, I was like, they need more sailors, though? And when I woke up in the morning, I was like, Carsey Blanton followed you. What? Carsey Blanton sent you a message. What? And basically she was saying, hey, they do need more like real sailors. Here's the main person that I've been working with if you want to chat with her.
Yeah.
Called her up. Whole long vetting process. Thankfully, back in 2023, Thanksgiving, I was with a group here, Left Voice, and we very briefly shut down the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Oh, yeah.
For Palestine.
And on that, I love that.
Oh, yeah, dude. And so there was footage of me being arrested at that. And so when they were like doing the vetting stuff, they're like, normally, we need all these character witnesses. I was like, what about this? They're like, yeah.
It's the police report.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, how about this?
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah, a little bit of street cred goes far. Yeah. And then the last question they asked me was, why would you do something like this? Like, why would you go out on this dangerous mission?
Yeah.
And I was telling them, like, I don't really, like, at this stage of the interview, I don't feel like I have a choice. Like, I have a skill set that you say you need.
Right. And
so,
like how many people are like at your ability of sailing? I imagine there's a shortage.
Yeah, so the final number of people that we had applying was about 128,000.
Whoa.
Globally. I believe it was about 30,000. It was about 30,000 from, I think, the US, or maybe that's an earlier estimate. But yeah, loads of people. Most people who are wanting to help, coming from very diverse backgrounds, but already, like, being a full-time sailor isn't like the most widespread job.
Right. And you're the only one I know.
Yeah. And then finding somebody who is a career sailor who's also willing to kind of risk jeopardizing that career.
Mm.
I mean, I'm from the British Virgin Islands, but my license is U.S. Coast Guard, and with kind of the bureaucratic warfare that we've been seeing,
Right.
you know, getting banned from a country anytime you're then applying for a security check, you know, like when you're upgrading your license,
Right.
that kind of thing's going to pop up.
Okay. I didn't even consider that.
Yeah. And
Wow.
so then you also need to have the captains who are like politically active. Like it just gets kind of smaller and smaller, this Venn diagram.
Yeah.
But I mean, there were about 50 of us out there.
Yeah.
And most of us are going to go again. So
that's amazing. My last question for you was going to be like, what's next? Even though I knew that was the answer, but I'm glad you spoiled the ending. I also forgot to mention that if you have questions, we decided just now that if you have questions during this, just throw your hand up.
Oh yeah.
As we go, instead of like making you all like save your questions for the very end when like we've probably hit a bunch of topics. So if anything comes up, just throw your hand up. Yes.
Did you know how much I love you?
Yes, I did.
So Dane's best friend is here. I got involved with you being on the flotilla because this is like kind of a joke. I've been half dating Dane's best friend for 3 years. And she let me know that you were on a ship. And the only thing that I know how to do when things are like scary is organize. So Liv was like feeding me the info in this group chat, and I was like, "Put me in there. Just put me in. I will use I will harness the powers of queer comedy for Gaza, and we'll like see what we can do." So that's like why I'm here.
Well, and you know what's funny, Al, is I was noticing, because I also kept on the down low for most people in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I was in Sicily when I let most people know.
Yeah.
Already working on fixing the boats up. But the more people I met part of the mission and the more kind of groups I was following on Instagram, the common denominator is that you were liking all of them. I was like, Al already knows every group, every single group.
Dude, I'm 10 toes down for Palestine, and I have been for a really long time. Yeah. So
I was really impressed by that already.
Getting to know that someone that I knew, and Dane and I don't know each other super well. I consider you my friend, but we don't know each other super well. But I truly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and I have friends who have done a lot of really awesome things, but I have never been so proud to be like, hey, I know that person. Like that, like I'm friends with that person. Like really amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so Carsey Blanton asked you to be on the flotilla.
Yeah.
And like you said yes, obviously. And like then what, like kind of walk us through the leading up to, and then like definitely like the sailing to like pre-inception. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, life in Sicily was just constant fucking work.
How long were you there?
2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, like 14 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we were just working on the boats, you know, from sunrise until well past sunset. You know, not like nobody's gonna be donating a $2 million yacht to the cause, unfortunately. I mean, this whole mission was like grassroots.
Yeah.
You know, everybody there is working class. One of the funniest comments, by the way, quick detour. One of the funniest comments we kept seeing on social media stuff was basically like, "Must be nice to not have a job." It's like most of us are losing our jobs doing this, dude.
Yeah.
Or other people being like, you know, I would do that. I would absolutely be there, but like, you know, I got to pay the bills. And it's like, but then you wouldn't be here though.
Right.
Like
right.
so many people, so many of my comrades are like, you know, same working class or in a worse financial situation.
Yeah.
And they were all just like, I mean, you know, I'll figure it out after.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I think that's like what we do as poor people.
Yeah.
As we like always figure it out. So we like might as
figure it
well
out.
get on boats and like try to break a siege.
Yeah. But it was just constant work. Things just being like jury rigged to shit. I mean, so when I first got there, we didn't know whose boat was going to be whose. They didn't even know if there was going to be a boat for me. Because I was coming in last minute. They were just needing additional sailors. And I remember a good number of times where me and one of the engineers would look at each other and be like, I mean, it's a one-way trip. Zip tie. It's a one-way trip. Let's fucking
Oh
go.
God.
How long does the boat have to survive? 3 weeks? What's the most wind we're gonna get? 30 knots? Yeah, okay, all right, duct tape. My buddy Dan just showed up. Dan knows all about that. I brought Dan out. I brought Dan out to fucking Norway on this monster boat.
Were any of the boats returned or what? Like, what happened with the boats?
Returned?
Yeah. Wait. Let's repeat the question for the.
Yes. The question was: were any of the boats returned?
That's a good
we have had 2 boats returned in the past 30 years.
Nice.
Yeah. So typical answer: nah, the boats don't come back.
And we'll get there in the conversation, but I remember you saying that you saw some of the other boats that are like still there.
Yeah, we saw some boats from previous missions. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you're in Sicily. You like MacGyver the boat to like survive like less than a month because like it's like not really gonna make it past that. And then you set sail, and from setting sail to like pre-inception. Tell us about that. I remember you told us when we picked you up from the airport that like your boat, you guys had like the time of your life. Like you guys were all good and you like were friends and like it was good, but like not all the boats were like that. So like talk a little bit about like being on the boat there.
Yeah. So we had, my boat, we had the best fucking vibes. We had such a great team. Everybody got on well. Carsey and I both brought guitars, so that was sick. Most boats didn't have any guitars, so we had. Everybody learned how to sail. On my boat, a lot of other boats, there were a couple sailors and they did the sailing, and other people did other stuff. But I don't know. I had recently rewatched Ted Lasso. I was like, everybody needs to learn everything about this boat. Everybody does every position. Yeah. Which was great. It was like at first it was massive investment of like time and energy, but everybody's around it for so long that then it really paid off because I could trust them all to we got a job. All right, let's refit this out. Everybody just wherever they're at.
And nobody here knows what those words mean.
Yeah, making them up. Yeah. But yeah, so in terms of getting from the boats finally leaving, until the first kind of attack that we went through.
Yeah.
Best way I can define it is what my buddy Sonder said. Our first night as we were sailing off, and he was staring at the sun setting behind us, and he was like, "Tonight, the sun sets in Sicily, and tomorrow it shall rise with us slightly east of Sicily." Yeah, it was slow going.
Slow moving.
Because you have every kind of boat. Like, my boat was built in 2005 and was one of the newer boats. So you have boats, every kind of shape, different lengths, power boats, sailboats, pirate boats, all that. And we all had to stick in formation, which that was a totally new thing to learn as a sailor. Is like, normally when you're sailing with so many other boats around, you're racing them. You're trying to go as fast as possible. Rarely are you trying to keep to a certain speed.
Yeah.
So we were often going about 5 knots.
Which can you, for people
which is
there, which
is like 5 miles an hour.
Thank you.
So picture driving across the Mediterranean at 5 miles an hour. Yeah.
Speedy.
Yeah. So oftentimes just like slow going, and so we would have like really nice, enjoyable days. Sun is out. We're just playing chess. Somebody's cooking. We're laughing about something, and then I'd be like, "Where are we going again?" Ah, right. Shit.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. The picture that you posted on your Instagram of like the sunset, and the caption of this photo was like, "Probably gonna lose internet soon. Love you, free Palestine." And I was like, oh God. And I think that's like about when I started tuning into the live stream of the flotilla, and when I tuned in, the Paola one was on there. And anyone who saw the live stream, you saw that there was a lot of different boats, but it wasn't necessarily all the boats because there was like almost 50. You looked the most relaxed. You were like sprawled out on like the bench of the boat, like playing on your phone. And like that was really fun to see, until I also remembered where you were going, and then I was like, oh god, that is so scary. Yeah.
Yeah, the question, yeah, was there a lot of communication with other boats? Like, did you get to know any people on other boats, or was it mostly like just people on your boat?
Oh yeah, great
Wait.
question.
Yeah, repeat the question.
So the question being, did we get to interact much with the people on the other boats? Like, was there kind of that like wider community, or were we concentrated on our own? So we kept getting delayed. I was part of the Italian fleet, and we were meant to meet up with the Tunisians and the Barcelona boats on like the 5th of September. We didn't all end up meeting together until like the 20th, something like that. Yeah, so we had a lot of time first in Italy just getting to know everybody. Before boats were kind of issued to people, we all worked on all the boats all the time. Well, all right, so there were a couple boats that we decided we're not going to make the whole trip, and that just became like our spare parts boats. So we like you'd be walking in the morning, and somebody would be like taking off, part of like some wiring. It's like, oh hey, how's the shopping? But aside from those two, like every boat was a project, and we were all helping each other on all of them. So we really got to know each other well. Speaking, yeah, like over the radio, keep like you would just kind of get to know people through even the group messages, that kind of thing. We also had buddy boats. So right before we were leaving Italy, we were having some kind of political issues with the higher ups of the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us were like, we just need to fucking go.
Yeah.
And so we decided, basically the boats that could be going right now needed to leave before we were facing some bureaucratic warfare in southern Sicily. And they decided any boat that wanted to could take off early. They're going to patch up the other ones, catch up later. And it was just me and my buddy Hamish from Wahoo that decided to leave. And we were the only ones out there like, well, should we just go to Gaza? And we're like, yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's go.
That's more than the last flotilla was still only one, so that's still more.
Yeah, about 20 people between last. Yeah, but
that's probably the same amount that were on the last.
Yeah,
like that's okay. Yeah. That's okay.
It counts.
That's okay.
It counts.
It counts.
But they came back. Somebody sailed out, and they were pleading with us because we weren't looking online or anything. They're radioing us. We're like, bad copy. We're like, fuck it, let's go. And then they sailed out, and they're like, you gotta come back. You gotta trust us. Things are changing with the committee. We're like, okay, we'll hear you out. We came back onto the boat. Basically, the captains had all decided to unionize, where we would be making decisions about like weather and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was great to see kind of like these grassroots efforts.
Yeah.
But right away, they were discussing how we were going to do formations, and one of which was just sticking inside of kind of box of our ships, and then having your buddy boat with you. And right away, me and Hamish from Wahoo were like, just tapped each other, not even looking. We're like, yeah, buddy.
It's like linking up in PE class with your best friend.
And so, and so we would just, be sailing every single day. We would like find them in the formation, and just, sail up to them.
Yeah.
They had a trumpet on their boat, so we'd be playing guitar. They'd be playing trumpet. We'd be sailing, like 2-3 meters off.
So it's like a really beautiful act of like community.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like I obviously like in the larger scale, this is an act of community on a global scale, but like playing music with like the boat beside you, like I have chills.
Yeah.
I have chills.
We also got to anchor in Greece and meet some of our Barcelona and Tunisian comrades.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So how long were you sailing before like the first interaction with the IOF?
We had probably been out about a week.
Okay.
Maybe. It was way before than we thought we'd be seeing activity. I mean, we had drones over us every single night, like the surveillance ones well up high.
I mean, a couple of the boats like got attacked when they were like still in harbor, right?
Yeah. Back in Tunis, they attacked the Alma and the family with drones. Yeah.
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 So you're a weekend.
We're about a week in, middle of international waters. Like, we're by the M in Mediterranean on Google Maps.
Yeah, and like then what?
Then we hear fucking ABBA coming out of our radio. Like absolutely blasting. And for the first 5 seconds, you're like, all right, somebody's playing a joke. Next 2 seconds, you're like, this isn't funny.
Oh,
the next
God.
10 seconds, you're like, fuck, what's coming? And then you think, oh, they're just jamming our fucking... And then an explosion goes off.
Oh, God.
You. Yeah. Fucking drones just started swooping down from higher up. Our comms were still just jammed. Channel 16, which is like a universal station for emergencies, we started calling out an SOS saying that we were being attacked, which was part of our protocol for the legal side of this mission. And as soon as we started the SOS, that signal got jammed. And that's, I mean, there are a bunch of laws, maritime laws against fucking around with Channel 16. And so we were like, yeah, it's serious.
You knew who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were on our backup channel, and then there were more explosions going off ahead of us. At first it seemed at random. As soon as the first explosion went off, my boat, we decided to take all of our sails down because we thought this could be a potential fire hazard.
Oh my God.
We later found that's what the drones were targeting, were the sails that were still
Holy
out.
shit.
Because they were trying to, make sure our ships couldn't move. One drone exploded near the foremast of one of our ships and destroyed it, obliterated it. And the objective of them clearly was to make it so we couldn't keep pushing on. But I mean, like, it tore apart steel cable where it would have, like, ripped a human up like paper.
Jesus.
Yeah. They also dropped chemical weapons on one of our boat that burned the face and hands of one of the skippers.
Yeah.
So they... Yeah.
And again, we're in international waters right now.
Nowhere near international waters, yeah.
Nowhere near Gaza. Nowhere near Israel, more importantly. Not in their waters.
Yeah. Yeah. Well the fuck away from them. And we were just fucking dodging and weaving because we also had to avoid hitting all these other boats. Yeah.
Just really quickly, I don't want to lose my train of thought. For your next one, I just recently saw where someone used a laser pointer to send audio signals. So there may be a way for inter-flotilla communication if they can hear signals.
That's
use
crazy.
Lasers. So I would love to talk to you at some other point to send you the article that I saw.
Yeah, let's talk lasers later.
Because like, if they're gonna fucking ruin the airwaves with ABBA, maybe you can at least get messages to each other to be like, hey, we're getting fucking attacked right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that reminds
sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
Oh yeah, I mean, like you see in kind of old movies that boats will communicate with like lights using Morse code.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was literally like they shot a laser into a solar panel and it played a song.
Wow.
That's wild.
It's
That's good
to
to
do
know.
with, like, the intensity of light can transmit audio frequency.
Yeah.
So like that may be something that's useful for you. That might be able to be jerry-rigged pretty easily.
Cool.
Yeah.
If like some random YouTuber can do it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Like why not?
I will say I'm now picturing like that night, because also middle of the night out in the sea, all you're seeing are different colored lights, and that's how you know what direction the ship is going, how large the ship is, all this information. And now I'm adding to that laser pointers going around. Also, I feel like I might have a new trauma response to laser pointers on me at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a thought. I didn't want to lose it.
Yeah, so I listened to a podcast that's done by a special forces veteran, and I'm wondering, was there a boat just of like U.S. veterans, and do you think that was beneficial, or did that hamper you in any way?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, great question. So the question is, was there a boat of veterans, and was that beneficial, or did that hamper us in any way? We did have a boat of U.S. veterans, massive asset. Yeah, huge asset to us. There were a few parts in the mission that I don't think I can talk about yet relating to sabotage from the IOF, and the veterans were massive help with all that. And all of these veterans A lot of them belong to an organization called About Face, and they're all anti-imperialist, anti-colonialism. Like, you know, they're veterans who have all seen the light. Yeah, I mean, you know, like, yeah, just fantastic comrades in general, but especially on this mission. Yeah, it was good to have for sure.
Okay.
And it helped us when we were in DC a few days ago trying to talk to Congress.
Yeah.
Like, there's a veteran out here, and we have cameras. Okay, fine, I'll talk
They're
to them.
two favorite things to tote around. Okay, so yeah, the ABBA thing is horrifying. You described it after we picked you up. So a bunch of us picked up Dane from the airport a couple weeks ago, and we ended up at a bar. And so, like, I was fortunate enough to hear some of these stories. And you described it as like warped and like, because like it's going through this like radio in the ocean, like,
Yeah.
So it's like warped, like scary. You're not hearing like prime time like Dancing Queen.
Yeah. No, it's not ABBA how ABBA was meant to be listened to by any
It's like horror movie ABBA.
Yeah, horror movie.
Didn't they also like hit you with Bob Marley?
Yeah, the following day, they played Bob Marley, and so I was told that ABBA was because of Gretchen, or Greta, sorry, because Greta, they were like, squish.
They're so sick of Greta, and I love that she just keeps.
Yeah, they hate
she doesn't
her,
care.
and I love
she
that.
just keep. They're so tired of her.
But so then after Bob Marley, I was like, is that for me? That for
BVI.
Me? BVI. I'm, as far as I know, I was the only person from the Caribbean on that flotilla. So I was like, that's for me. They know me.
Someone in like your crew got in contact with BVI Media, and they confirmed you were the only one from there. So great job representing there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so let's transition into like the actual interception, which you said like lasted a while, right? Before they like boarded.
Yeah, them slow as fuck.
So like go through that story, and you know exactly what story like I want you to tell. So like like lead up to that, go through that, and then like we'll kind of go into post interception.
Yeah. So interception itself, yeah, wild night.
Yeah.
How
long were you at sea? Like how long had you been out at that point, and how far away were you from Gaza?
We had been at sea like 11, 12 days, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We were less than 100 miles from Gaza at that point.
Could you see it at that point or not yet?
Just because it was dark, we couldn't at that point. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they brought out, I mean, all different kinds of ships. We later learned that they brought their whole Navy for that section plus 600 reserves.
And the silver lining to all of this, for anyone who doesn't know, is that even though this flotilla did not make it to Gaza with their supplies, the IOF Navy was too occupied trying to take down this nonviolent civilian flotilla that it gave Gazans the opportunity to fish in their own sea for the first time in 2 years. And they were able, because of you guys, they were able to fish and feed their families like an actual like meal of sustenance for the first time throughout this genocide.
Yeah. The first time I heard that was in Jordan after prison from a taxi driver who said that his family and others were out fishing, and we all just broke down sobbing.
We said that to you at the airport, and I saw it in your face, like you teared up. Yeah. I mean, that's really powerful.
Yeah. So actual interception, they brought everybody around. First thing that really stood out to me was sailing past one of our pirate ships from Barcelona, very tall, old wood schooner. And these guys were like throwing up grappling hooks and like putting ladders up and climbing. And I was like, what fucking Time Bandit spin-off am I living in right now? Jesus. And yeah, so they would pull up, have their searchlights on us, be shouting at us to stop. And what we had gone through in training is the legal side of things, which is if you're like, okay, officer, and you stop the boat and you start driving, following them, that's not an interception. That's just you taking bad advice.
You're just going with us.
Yeah. So it's only an interception if they commandeer your boat by force. So it was a very non-violent mission. We did a lot of training on how to de-escalate, but you can't be going along with their orders until they changed the speed and direction of the boat. So we knew that it was going to inevitably be violent in some regard of how they would take the boat. But they were trying everything they could to deter us without needing to do that. So they had some ships with water cannons that were just like absolutely pummeling people. You know, you can't see. Your boat is rocking the whole time.
Yeah.
Really trying to pummel them into submission. And on more than a couple occasions, they would pull right in front of me with one of their frigates with a spotlight on us, guys with rifles all pointing at us, and a megaphone. They'd be shouting for us to stop. I would just set the autopilot going. I'd sit down away from the helm so that they could see nobody's at the helm. And then they'd have to steer out of the way at the last moment. So we were dodging and weaving for a while, yeah?
How do you spell frigate?
Frigate.
Olivia.
And they pulled out all the reserves. So we were all catching up in prison. And one of the stories, which was fairly common, is that these new IOF kids would be getting on the boat like 19 years old, and inevitably would be throwing up off the side like in minutes.
You didn't tell us that.
Oh yeah, several of them dropped their fucking guns trying to get on. Like, it was just so clear, like, these are not the best of the best right here. My experience slightly different, unfortunately. We had Siete 13, which is their version of Navy SEALs.
For anyone who doesn't know, if you remember last year when one of the hospitals in Gaza got raided by the IOF, this is the people who like dressed up pretending to be Palestinian doctors, and they went into the hospital, took off the white coats and the fake hijabs, and they assassinated an entire hospital of people. Like, that's who these people are that you interacted with.
Yeah. So these are the ones who, they're less yelly, screamy at people, more just kind of quiet and cold. They rammed our boat coming up alongside, and then immediately we all had laser sights on us, and they all boarded. And very first command was shut your eyes. And so we all just shut our eyes, raise our hand. You know, we already had hands up. We were sitting, life jackets on. We knew what was coming. And then they methodically walked around the boat, tore off the Starlink, tore off the cameras that we had, and asked us, you know, if there were any other recording devices. We said no. Then all of us, eyes shut, hands up. The guy in charge says, "Okay, who is the skipper?" And nobody fucking says anything.
Meaning the captain.
Meaning the captain. One thing
Which
that we
is
had gone over in
you, to
training,
reiterate, this is
me.
Dane.
One thing that we had gone over in training, especially for interception training, was like eyes closed, hands up, mouth shut. Don't give them any information. They will always press for the captain. Try your best to not give up the skipper, because we're a pinch point. I mean, out of the 180,000 people wanting to be a part of this, there were 40 skippers. So it's like they know that if they can, remove this from the equation, everything else is going to kind of fall apart. So nobody says anything, and again he asks, "Okay, who is the captain?"
I like your accent.
We keep our fucking that shit. He says, "Okay, if you are not the captain, put your hands down." And then I fucking hear him walking up, gets right up behind me, and then he says, "I said, if you are not the captain, put your hands down. Is everybody here the captain?" And then he goes, "No smiling!" And they all start cocking their guns.
Oh, God.
So ain't nobody on my boat a snitch.
Everybody kept their hands up.
Everybody kept their hands
incredible.
up.
Yeah. And then weren't they like, "We'll find out later," I guess?
Yeah, he's like, "We'll find out later."
They didn't.
They didn't. No.
Okay, so they're on your boat. It's what, the middle of the night still?
Middle of the night, yeah. They, had already checked through everybody. Basically, we pass out at some point with our hands up, just, wake up on the table.
Yeah.
And they shuffled all of us inside downstairs.
Yeah.
And that's when I find out from one of my crew that we still had our Garmin device.
Which, explain for non-sailors what that is.
So we have this Garmin InReach, which tracks your location. It can send out an SOS. That's its primary function.
And this is how we were able to see where you were on the flotilla.
Right. This is how we were tracking the boats.
And that's why when you were intercepted, it didn't necessarily immediately say intercepted, no longer sailing.
Yeah.
Like whatever that language
so
was.
they didn't necessarily know my ship was intercepted when we were. And because we had trouble with the Garmin button, wasn't going off. And so then my crew member decided to just hide it. And so next morning we're all shuffled downstairs and my crew member tells me, hey, like the Garmin's in the bathroom, like the button's stuck if you can get it. I'm like, okay. We should not have this at this point, but okay. We go in there. It's also for the legal strategy. We have to, activate that SOS, show that we're trying to ask for help while we're in international waters. We get in there, fucking thing's dead.
Oh.
God damn it. So I come back out now with it hidden on me, and they start telling us to clean up downstairs because it was in such a fuck. I mean, nobody's gonna do dishes the night that your whole boat's gonna get. Like it was a bit of a mess. Fine. It's like has anybody ever been evicted? You get what I'm saying.
I like that. Like that was the IOF's line too. Was like your boat looks like shit right now, man. Fix it.
Yeah. Little did they know. And so I picked up. It was like a croissant in a package, and I asked my friend to hand it over to our buddy who was cleaning up these cables. And just handed her the Garmin with it, not saying anything. She hands it to another one of our friends who hands it to him. He takes it, doesn't say anything, just plugs it in. We continue cleaning up the boat. Finally, when it has any amount of charge, we texted the name of the port that we were going to because we had overheard them talking about Ashdod. So we knew we weren't going to Tel Aviv. We're going to Ashdod. Sent that, knowing it would help our legal team know where to go so they couldn't say that nobody was there to represent us. And then we had to get the fucking Garmin off the boat because it had a whole bunch of metadata. I mean, that I've had that, for 5 years sailing around. And so I just had to watch this guy in the reflection of a turned off TV screen.
An IOF soldier.
Yeah, Shiete 13 fucking guy. As they're constantly staring at us, and I waited until he literally started yawning. I just nodded my head vigorously, and Sander chucks it out the window.
That was my favorite story you told us the night. And literally, that feels like a James Bond movie where everybody kind of does their part, and they it's gone. Sorry.
And here's the thing: that we had to do that.
Yeah.
But then that emboldened us for later.
Yeah, you got sassy with the IOF a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're on the ship. Show's over. You're in Ashdod port. That's when it really gets bad.
Fun.
Yeah. Well, sure, Dane.
Well, it gets fun, then it gets
your
bad.
Experience.
It gets fun, then it gets bad. So the fun part is that they were trying to parade all of our boats into Ashdod. We saw all the news reporters and everybody. They spent a long time lining all of us up to then swing into the harbor, tie the lines off real neat. And while they were doing that, I just closed the fuel shutoff valve on the boat.
Which, for non-sailors, does what?
Cuts the motor. And so then they're just adrift in the middle of this parade.
And eventually starts a small fire.
Well, no, that came later.
Oh.
They came out, tied onto the boat. It just ruined their whole little neat row of ducks coming in. And it further emboldens me. I kept getting away with shit.
It's getting real ballsy with the IOF.
And so while we were pulling into that port, my buddy Yassine was looking out the window, and we see the fucking military force for what it is. Versus again, 50 ragtag, bubblegum together fucking flotilla.
Yeah.
And my buddy was like, how the fuck are we supposed to compete with this? This is a machine.
Yeah.
I was like, well, machines actually break pretty easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, quick physics lesson is pressure creates heat. And energy cannot be created or destroyed. It's always going somewhere. It's either being transferred or transformed, right? And so a motor in the ocean uses the ocean, pulls it up, runs it around the engine, spits it back out again to cool it down, to take that increasing heat, that increasing pressure, and eject it from the system. And if you close that valve, that heat and that pressure have nowhere to go. And the engine inevitably will explode at some part of the system. So we were looking outside. My brother was like, God, the IOF's a fucking machine. I was like, give me a second. Can I use the bathroom? I'm like, yeah, sure. Not knowing that in the bathroom I could go through the floor and I could get to the motor and I could close one little valve and I could come back out. I could be standing in plain view of everybody before shit starts smoking. But I think it serves as a really good reminder to folks that, an engine, no matter how intricate or expensive, can fucking break if you pinch it at just the right part. And on top of that, energy is always going somewhere. So it's great when you're able to be involved in a direct action, whether it's on one of these boats or fucking shutting down Mickey Mouse for 40 seconds before you get dragged off in Times Square. But that energy is going somewhere. And I feel like a lot of times it serves the oppressor to make us feel like we're just not doing anything. Like even when you're just sharing shit on Instagram, it's building pressure. It's building heat. And that forces the Zionist entity to do shit this whole ceasefire bullshit. That's them trying to alleviate pressure. That's them trying to open up a valve, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so just know that, your energy is always going into this machine. And then when we're able to find one of those pinch points, that's what we need is that pressure behind us. Because if it was just 50 boats, a couple hundred people, it wouldn't have meant shit.
Right.
The fact is that we were sailing with 45 countries and we were sailing with all of you guys behind us and in the streets.
Yeah.
The fact that Rome was on fire, that's why things were happening. That's why they sent warships with us.
Yeah.
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 Really quickly, I know that we all are kind of inundated with information, but what are some places that we can get information to follow the flotilla and that kind of stuff, just for longevity? Where can we find this information?
Sure. So Global Movement to Gaza, good one to follow. I think that's the rebranding of Global Sumud Flotilla, or you can look up Global Sumud Flotilla on Instagram.
Yeah.
You have the Thousand Madeleines.
Can you spell Global Sumud Flotilla for everyone?
So GLOBAL, Global. Sumud is SUMUD. Flotilla, FLOTILLA.
You didn't know you were going to get a spelling test, did you?
I didn't. I knew I should have got flashcards. Thank you. Also, this is a slightly different topic, which I'll get back to when we're talking about prison. But just while we're talking about things to follow real quick, if anybody doesn't already know, Muhammad Ibrahim. Muhammad Ibrahim is a name that we need to keep repeating. I'll mention him more later, but he is a U.S. citizen who was taken while visiting family in the West Bank when he was 15, and he has been in prison for 8 months now, held without charges, the same way as they held us, and he is a U.S. citizen. He was born and raised in Florida. Yeah. So, follow the GSF and all that stuff, but mostly follow and talk about Muhammad Ibrahim if you can right now.
Yeah, the accounts too, if you want to be informed on Palestine, because that's what all of this is about, is Palestine. Eyes on Palestine is a really, really good account. They are posting really live updates. And through them, you'll find a lot of Palestinian journalists, and we really need to be uplifting the voices of Palestinian journalists because Israel has killed 300 plus of them over the course of the last 2 years, plus the 80 on top of that of the occupation. A lot of that stuff is on the Queer Comedy for Gaza Instagram. So I'll make a thing and link a lot of this stuff so that it's available in one place.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Okay. Wait, don't clap. We're not done.
This isn't a done clap.
That'd be crazy if we were like, all right,
All right,
intercept
bye.
tonight.
And then it gets real
And then
crazy.
that's it. Okay. So can you tell us, and I know the answer to this, but can you tell everyone here, did you see Gaza? And if yes, what was that experience?
Yeah, so that's kind of what prompted my I don't know, pettiness or just being so fucking mad I didn't care to like shut off the engine and try and set it on fire. Was we went past Gaza while they were taking us north into Ashdod, and like we could like hear the bombs and we could see the smoke.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was enraging.
What would you say was scarier, the highly trained like troops, or like the inexperienced people who might, misfire or weapon or something? Like, what do you feel like the biggest danger?
Yeah, no, sorry, the question was what's the bigger danger, the highly trained commandos or the fresh-faced kids? The kids. Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, it was the same with the drone attack. Like, I wasn't afraid of them trying to kill us because I understood that with their might, with the full American empire backing them, that they could if they wanted to. But I was way more afraid of them, like, killing us as collateral, because that was something that they also kept pushing. They kept saying, like, we don't really care if any of you get hurt or die.
Yeah.
And I believe them fully, especially with the kinds of charges that they were using. Yeah.
And especially considering that the IOF has killed
Oh, yeah.
people on the flotillas before,
Yeah.
and they continue to kill U.S. citizens who are doing land defense in the West Bank, and people in Gaza, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, we have about 20 minutes left, so I want to make
Yeah.
sure that we get through prison. So you're at Ashdod Port. You saw Gaza. You fucked with the boat to like really make their life difficult. Let's time skip a little bit. You're in, you're right before being in prison through being in prison.
Sure.
Talk about that.
Okay, so yeah, the lead up to prison, they just like went through all our shit, threw a bunch of stuff away at random.
Mm-hmm.
Including they pulled a card out from my bag from my empty guitar case, which Carsey and I knew that they were going to intercept us and take our instruments, so we played a little bit when they were coming to get us, and then we chucked the guitars in the ocean.
You didn't let them do it.
Yeah, no, we decided that our guitars, like we later decided our boat would want a revolutionary suicide. So we gave it to them.
Gorgeous.
But everything else they were just taking out, just chucking, earring shit, whatever. Everything was going to trash. And this is pre like any prison shit. This is just coming into the port where you still theoretically have the option to sign a confessional saying, "Oh yeah, I accidentally came into Israel. I'll leave now."
Yeah.
So it's before any of that, before any charges, anything like that, and they're just like taking our shit. They pulled one card out of my bag, and it's a thank you card, and the guy looked at me smugly and tossed it in the trash. And I had to hide my grin so hard, because if he had opened it, the very first words are, "Thank you, Captain Dane." This motherfucker could have gotten a promotion. Stupid bitch.
Idiot.
Yeah, so they throw out all of our shit. I don't sign any of the shit they're trying to give us.
Right.
The worst part about that was in interrogation. This one dude kept pushing. He was like, "You know that you were aiding Hamas. You know that you were helping terrorists. You know that you were helping terrorists." I said, "Bro, my boat just had fucking baby formula, okay?" And he said, "Fine, future terrorists."
Horrifying.
Yeah, I was like, how, what?
But it really is so interesting how deeply their propaganda runs.
And keep in mind, this dude, he's not whispering. He's not like looking around for whom I hurt. He's saying this with his fucking chest.
Because he believes it.
He believes it. And
what
because
he
he
thinks.
knows everybody around him is fine with it.
Right.
Yeah, like the U.S., like the Western media constantly whitewashes this, where they talk a lot about fucking collateral damage.
Yeah.
Right? And they say like, oh, these doctors and these journalists and these kids were collateral. No, dude, they were the target.
Yeah.
They target the journalists, they target the doctors, they target the fucking kids.
Of course.
Like, it's not collateral damage by any means.
Right.
And yeah, the kids aren't something that they're willing to sacrifice. The kids are something that they're going after.
Yeah, it's intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of that built up a healthy fucking disdain for me.
Like extra mad.
Just
extra
in
mad.
time for prison.
Okay, yeah. So we're in. I say we. I'm a social worker,
We're
so
in
I like
prison.
to use the word we. I was not there, but we're in prison.
Yeah.
Now what?
So prison was a nightmare for us and for them because they were anticipating about a third of us to not sign any papers and to go to prison.
Yeah.
Especially because all the previous flotillas, they took them to a detention center, like
Yeah.
immigration kind of thing.
But you got put in.
We got put in Kitsiat, which is a like notorious like terrorist prison where torture is like regular. It's a torture prison. That's what they do there. And yeah, they were expecting a lot of people to dip when they found out about that. They were prepared for half of us to stay.
Yeah.
All of us fucking stayed. So they were not at all ready for that shit. And we were monsters in prison. Like, I mean, I know me for one, like, I was off this mission. I was no longer responsible for other people. I was just responsible for myself. I was like, I'm going to go nuts in there. And, yeah, I mean, as soon as they were throwing us in, you know, we were really asserting our rights.
Oh my God, are these for us?
So
wow, incredible.
Read my
Thank you
mind.
so much.
Wow. Let's give it up for the drinks.
Wow, thank you. Cheers, Dane.
The least I could do.
Cheers, thank you. That's mutual aid right there.
Yeah, it is.
I hope it's correct.
It
Community
is. You got
care.
it.
You are lucky.
Community care, baby.
Community care right there. So yeah, in prison, we understood that they were going to treat us like shit, the same way as we understood that they were going to illegally be intercepting these boats. It doesn't make it less illegal just because we're expecting it. So part of this whole cause was building the court case for afterward.
Right.
And so same as we knew that they would have to take our boats by force and then we would start complying, we knew that we had to assert for certain rights, even if they weren't going to give it to us. So every single day we asked for phone calls, every single day we asked for lawyers, every single day we asked for showers, never got any of them.
Yeah.
With that though, there were times where we then were asserting for things that we we were not expecting them to withhold insulin from a man for 3 days.
Yeah.
3 days they kept this dude without insulin. And they only gave in when we had a fucking riot on our hands. Because they would come in, like, I don't know, fucking 10 times a day just to count us.
Yeah.
It was mostly a thing that they would do at night where they'd turn all the lights on, throw the door open, be screaming at you, get against the wall, put your shirts on, and then they would just quietly count each of you.
Psychological warfare.
Yeah. Same as they would play this fucking documentary, like, 15 hours a day about the October 7th. And like just constant every fucking minute they're trying to do something.
Right.
But yeah, when they weren't giving that guy insulin, we weren't letting them come into the cells.
Wow.
Yeah, and because they had to come count.
Sorry.
Like I'll give you to the count of fucking 3 if you open that door.
You have a question?
Yeah, I heard that they were also holding water and keeping the temperature in the prison quite high. And I don't know to what degree is that something that you also and your team also experienced?
They were keeping the temperatures high.
Yeah, the question was about
water.
withholding water, keeping the temperatures high. So there was no, as far as I could tell, there was no fucking central air at that spot. We were just in the middle of the desert, and they would pack like 15 of us into a cell with beds for 8, and you could tell they had added a bunk bed, So like small fucking cells, lots of people, middle of the desert, yeah, high temperatures. They never provided any bottled water. We had to drink out of the tap next to the toilet. That was it. I was on hunger strike with a lot of the other people who were out there, but because of that, they then spent like 30 hours not giving food to anybody as collective punishment for us being on hunger strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't drink any of the water for the first day, mostly out of worry, get anything from that. Especially if you're on hunger strike, you don't want diarrhea.
Right, you don't need
you never want diarrhea, but especially if you're on hunger strike,
Yeah.
Especially if you're on hunger strike in a terrorist torture prison, you don't want diarrhea. Come on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, so they never provide clean water. Which, by the way, we brought all of this up to the U.S. consulate.
Yeah, talk about interacting. What was his name? Was it Chris? No, that's who we interacted with. Buck-ass
Buck-ass
Chris.
Chris.
We'll tell you
Shout
guys about
out.
that another time. Yeah, tell us about, for the sake of time,
Sure.
tell us about because I know you had a couple direct interactions with the IOF during your incarceration. Talk about that. Talk about the consulate and talk about the letter, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Okay, so the couple direct confrontations with the IOF were very different approaches from my end, from kind of like spirituality wise. So the first one was just my epitome of anger, which is they were trying to force me to take a sandwich. I told them, give it to a Palestinian. And then the guard said to me, you're wasting food. Don't you know there are people who are starving? And at that same time, I heard one of the F-35s flying over, knowing exactly where it was going.
Yeah.
So I throw a sandwich at the guy. Big fucking deal.
That's hilarious.
So I throw a sandwich at the guy, and then I charge him. Big fucking deal. So solitary was fine. It was just a cage outside.
But then what happened when you were in solitary? Wasn't there didn't all of you end up?
No, okay, so that's the second time. So the first time I was just meant to sit in the corner and think about what I'd done, and I thought, I wish I was fucking quicker charging him. But so then the second time. So now second direct interaction I have with these assholes, well, way more, but second big one was I'd already been in prison for 5 days at this point.
Because you were there for a week,
6 days,
right?
yeah.
Almost a week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah.
No charges. No charges.
No charges. No, we didn't do anything wrong.
No.
Is there anyone that's still from your flotilla still in jail?
Not still from my flotilla, but there's still another 10,000 Palestinian hostages, including 400 children, including Mohammed Ibrahim, that young 16-year-old who had his birthday in prison. Yeah, they're all still being held over there. Yeah. From my knowledge, nobody from this direct flotilla. Thousand Madeleines, I believe they're all out, but I'm not sure on that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what all the reports were.
Yeah.
There was a couple people that it took a little longer, but it does seem like everyone from all flotillas in the last month are out. But like Dane said, there are the 10,000 Palestinians. Even with this bullshit ceasefire hostage thing, there are still 10,000 Palestinians held, many without charge, including hundreds of children, literal children.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my mates saw kids at the prison that were.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, did you see any Palestinians?
I personally did not, aside from the ones who I was already with.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, one of my mates saw kids on the way to see the judge. So we were all
horrifying.
Yeah, and because that was before we had learned about Kitzia. That's while it was news to us.
Yeah.
The outside world, as soon as people were able to do research, they knew. But for us in the cell, when he came back and told us that there were kids here, we were like, oh. Yeah. So the second time I got in trouble, I was sleeping because at this point, 5 days of no food, that's kind of the only activity you're partial to.
Yeah.
But one of my mates, Gazan, he from Tangier, he managed to get our windows off the cell. So as we had brought up before, very hot in these cells. And there's still bars on the window, but they also have this glass sliding thing. But popping that sucker off, oh my God, the fresh air that we got going through, the nice breeze that we got going through there. So he popped that off. We were all grateful. Maybe 15, 20 minutes later, the door flies open. Before I'm awake, before my eyes are open, my body instinctually knows I have two dogs lunging at me. And I'm just backing up on my hands and feet with, a Doberman and a German Shepherd coming at me, and guys cocking shotguns coming into the cell, screaming at us, torches on everybody. Press us up against the back wall, immediately grab Gazan, throw him on the ground, knee on his back, cuff his hands, cuff his ankles, blindfold him, pick him up, start dragging him out.
In that very traditional IOF hold that we see, right? Head down, arms back.
That's the only way they.
It's the only way they can control anyone.
I can't picture any of them holding hands with a partner. It's just every time.
Yeah. Right.
Not that any of them have, camaraderie with human beings. But
Yeah.
so then my buddy Sonder, they're screaming at him, put your hands up, and he crosses his arms. So they throw him on the ground, put their knee in his back, cuff his hands, cuff his ankles,
Same
blindfold him, drag him off.
Right.
And so at this point, I had already spent days trying to set these guys on fire, just staring at them, just being like, I hate you so fucking much. And what they would do is they would meet that stare. They would look right back at me, trying to set me on fire with their eyes. And a lot of them were under the genuine belief that I was there to try and kill Jewish babies.
Right.
Like, the propaganda is so fucking deep. Like, some of them are like true fanatics, true believers, and they really thought that we were there to hurt people. Like,
yeah,
hurt people that they care about.
the propaganda is really, like, if it wasn't so disturbing, I would find it impressive.
Yeah.
You know?
And so I found that when, instead of the hatred, if you were just staring at these guys like as much a mirror as possible, just looking at them blankly and just letting them kind of see themselves, that was way more effective. They could never hold eye contact with you. Yeah.
So you mentioned that they were playing propaganda for you. What was the propaganda that they were serving to you? Like, what did that look like? What do you remember from what they were playing for you?
What was the propaganda?
So in terms of the movie, the question was what kind of propaganda were they playing against us? In terms of the movie, it was one about October 7th, and it was mostly like sad, shitty elevator piano music.
Which they did kill their own.
Yeah,
like the Hannibal Directive, like we all.
Yeah, they killed their own people. Yeah,
Israel arguably killed the most people that day in Israel and Palestine.
I would say Israel is arguably the fucking worst.
I would say that Israel is actually not arguably the worst. They just straight up are.
Maybe not arguably. Maybe just objectively.
They just are.
I think objectively. Yeah.
Glad we're all in agreement on that one.
But other kinds of propaganda. I mean, they were telling us that we were never leaving. The guards were telling us that we were there forever because we were terrorists. And everything that we had done in training, everything that we had read, looked at beforehand, it was like, if you don't sign any of the papers, if you refuse to comply with everything, the most they can hold you is 72 hours. So come like 98 hours when the guy's telling you, no, you're here forever, you're a terrorist, you're like, how long can I do this hunger strike?
Yeah, like, fuck, man, fuck.
Forever? Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
All right, if you say so.
Yeah, we were
so
really.
that counts as propaganda. Yeah,
we were really holding our breath when we between interception and I don't remember who sent it. It was either Alyssa or Shep, who are two of Dane's best friends. They sent it in the chat that like you were finally being released, and like for those like several days, we all just like had our breaths held, being like, please, like whatever God is out there, like let our people.
When they did let us go, it was October 7th. And they didn't tell us shit. They just started taking us into the desert. And we were like, well, guys, it's been great.
Thanks, guys.
Loved hanging out with you guys. See, tune us in the next life. And then they put us on a bus and started driving us deeper into the desert. And we're like, just fucking shoot us.
Dane.
When you do go back, how can people keep up with you and make sure that you...
Wait, can we get there? Can we get there?
We'll get there.
That's a really good like culmination question, because that's like a we're gonna team up on that.
Word. I forgot the question, so perfect.
I want you to finish the story about you all. Yeah, you know what I want.
All right, so I'm in that fucking cell, and the dude closest to me, not making my eye contact, and I say to him, I'm like, brother, look at me. And he immediately turns a shotgun to me. And I'm like, dude, look, you are under the illusion that you have more power than me right now, because you're standing there in body armor and I'm sitting here barefoot. But we're the exact same. We are both equal to each other. And once you look in the mirror and once you take those masks off, I want you to ask if you are the prison guard or if you're the fucking prisoner. And this dude, he kind of stands up straighter and lowers his gun a bit. And then he goes, shut the fuck up, and throws me on the ground, puts his knee in my back, cuffs my hands, cuffs my ankles, blindfolds me, picks me up by my hair, drags me out. And while he was dragging me out, I was like, you got a lot of unlearning to do, buddy.
Antagonizing the IOF is crazy.
And so, I tried both, I tried throwing the sandwich and starting a fight and swinging. That didn't work. I tried the fucking you and I are the same creatures under God, my guy. That didn't fucking work. But anyway, they throw me in the fucking prison cell with my buddy who took the windows off and my buddy who wouldn't raise his hands. And then it took about 10 minutes for everybody else who had been in our cell to also get thrown in what had previously been solitary. And we were sitting there in this cage outside in the desert, middle of the night, and one of the guys just goes, well, we want more fresh air. Yeah, true. Yeah. Good point.
I can't. I can't.
There was like the prison was so much more bearable. It was bearable at all because of all the people who were in it.
Yeah, I imagine that it was like, I mean, going in there in general sounds fucking horrifying beyond anything that I can imagine. But going in there alone,
Yeah.
or like with like one or two other people,
Yeah.
sounds like a whole. You had like a crew.
We had everybody.
Everybody
yeah,
was
we had
there.
everybody. I mean, we because they would make us feed all the other prisoners, which they didn't realize was just a good way for us to pass messages around. Messages like, hey, have you guys realized that if you squeeze out pepper juice into the tea, you can write on the walls and it properly stains
But
it?
what were the women doing?
And we were like, oh, fuck yeah. And later on, when we were in Jordan, I met up with Carsey. And I was like, oh, yeah, like, did you guys realize, like, the tea and pepper trick where you could, like, write, like, Free Palestine on the walls? And she was like, oh, no, we used our blood. Well, all right, shit, you win. Yeah.
Girl power!
All of the people on my boat who could have periods were having periods at the same time.
Of course.
Once we were on the boat.
Synced
And
up.
so it turned out that in prison, well over half of all the women there were on their periods. And as in their words, they made it the guards' problem. So yeah, they went hard in the women's cells. Yeah. Also, the women, they realized on the second day that their guards weren't allowed to touch them. On the men's break, they beat the shit out of us. They beat us up a few times.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the women's side, they, I guess, were given the directive like, don't touch them. And the women fully utilized that.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody mentioned earlier how there were a few people who were still back there when the main group left.
Yeah.
That was like, people like one of our friends who bit a guard on the leg.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because she was like, fuck you.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
For the sake of time, I want to make sure that you talk about the letter, which should, once you hear the story, you'll agree with me. This letter needs to be in like whenever our version of like the Holocaust Museum for like the Palestinian genocide gets erected, hopefully very near in the future when we see a free Palestine, this letter like has to be in it. This is like a piece of history. Like I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
So we went to go see the consulate, the U.S. consulate, and
5 days in, right?
5 days in, yeah. And they were just the most lovely, the most helpful. They brought cookies, they brought candy, no.
Wrong.
They hadn't seen us until that point. They were like, y'all still here? We're like, and I asked, like, yo, did like y'all bring cigarettes at least? And and the guy was like, I do not have cigarettes, and if I did, I couldn't give them to you, unfortunately. Sorry.
Loser.
And we're like, fucking says you. They're like, oh, also we all have to keep our voices down. And normally you're each entitled to 20 minutes, but they're giving us 20 minutes for all of the Americans in here. And we're like, bruh.
And how many of there were you?
Bruh. Fuck,
Roughly.
I don't know. Americans, there were like 14 of us probably.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I mentioned, I was like, what about bottled water? Like, we know the Australians, we know, the Greeks, they got bottled water. He was like, no, sorry, we've asked in the past and they won't let us give it to you. I was like, what if you just withhold missiles? What if you say no more tomahawks until we get water? And they were like, yeah. I was like, I'm fucking serious.
Like that actually wasn't
I'm
a
fucking
joke.
serious, yeah. These guys had no fucking power whatsoever.
Then you were sassing everybody that you interacted
It's when I'm hungry, when I haven't had food for 6 days,
Fair
and
enough,
I've been
fair
getting
enough.
tortured in an Israeli prison.
My bad, you're right.
I get a little sassy. And so then we're finally leaving this bullshit meeting where the main thing is they needed us to just sign papers saying that they could talk to our family and friends about us.
Yeah.
And then this guy was like, hey, do you have my pen? And I was like, no. And even if I did, I couldn't give it to you. So I brought a pin back to my cell.
Yes.
And one of my comrades managed to smuggle paper in. And our Greek comrade came back with the news that his country was sending a fucking airplane to pick him and all the other Greeks up because Athens was on fire. And we're like, God damn it, I wish our countries could be on fire.
Yeah.
But this dude, Alexandros, was happy to smuggle some shit out for us.
Yeah.
So we all wrote, messages folded up real small. They gave us these toothbrushes that came in little plastic envelopes, like, about that big. We just shoved it full of paper. He put it up in his cheek, knowing that we are going to get strip searched on the way out. And he walked out of the cell, and we were like, either our messages get out or that dude gets beat the fuck up.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for Santos. And the message got out, thankfully.
Yeah, it did. And if you're interested in seeing that letter, which I imagine most of you are, it is on the Queer Comedy for Gaza Instagram. The Instagram is literally Queer Comedy for Gaza, but not the letter, like the word. That's it. It's on there. It's the pinned post. And when I saw this letter, I was like I feel like I had been in tears for like the last 2 weeks at this point, but it was incredible. And I posted the cropped version. The uncropped version, just so you know, says P.S. Shep, crop out this part with your phone number. Shep, again, being one of your best friends. I'm very proud to have stolen a pen, which was very cheeky and very you. So it's on there if you want to read it. Yeah. So the letter, and then let's time skip a little bit more just for the sake of time.
Yeah.
You are released from prison and hoping to come straight back to America, BVI, New York, wherever, out of fucking the Middle East at this point.
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah, so they again, most other governments, most other countries, their people flew straight from Tel Aviv. They dropped us off at the border to Jordan. And they were like, you're out of the country now. Bye.
I said at one point during this whole journey that you went on, wow, Dane has really seen the entire Middle East except where they wanted to go.
Yeah. Well, so
you got a whole tour.
Yeah, we drove through occupied Palestine. We drove through the West Bank. We drove through the Dead Sea, and all of us were crowded together through one little scratched out marking in the prison van window. So we were all just watching all of this, through a pinhole.
Did you see anything noteworthy?
Saw where we were trying to get to. Yeah, being that fucking close but having shackles on.
Horrifying.
Yeah, interesting way to see the Dead Sea too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we eventually surmised that they were going to be dropping us off in Jordan and that we would just figure it out from there.
Yeah.
The prison bus ride was a fucking riot too. All the Tunisian guys taught us their football anthem. So we're all just fucking having a grand old time. Anytime they would start banging on our wall, we would all start banging on our wall.
Banging back.
Yeah. Monsters. They never broke us. We only got more fucking monsters the longer we were there. And then eventually they got us to Jordan. Ambassadors are there for all the countries of people who are still going back. The Egyptian dude and the Moroccan dude, they brought cigarettes and water and shit. This American lady shows up half an hour after we've been there.
Yeah, of course.
Gives us a bunch of printed out pieces of paper with phone numbers that we cannot call because none of us have cell phones. Obviously.
Right, because you threw them off the boat.
Yeah.
Days ago.
She said that she had found out about us yesterday. She didn't know what the cause was. She didn't know why we were there. She thought we were maybe Red Cross.
I can't.
She could have called somebody,
She could have gone on Instagram.com one time.
Yeah, she's also her Arabic is shit. No fucking point. And absolutely, none of us felt taken care of. When she found out that a lot of us had been on hunger strike, she was like, sorry, I don't have anything. We're like, you don't have fucking anything? And she dug through her purse and pulled out half a bag of pretzels. I was like, I'm good.
For you guys
I
to
didn't
share.
wait 6 days for this. So then they throw us in the bus to take us to the airport. They tell us that, okay, the American government, we're not going to help you with your flights or travel, anything like that. We can give you a $5,000 loan, which we will hold your passport for until you pay us back with interest.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So that's what the U.S. government's offering. Yeah. Yeah.
American politician.
Yeah.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
And also stop paying taxes.
Stop paying taxes.
Yeah.
I don't think I do
And
either.
and
I
so
don't know.
then they were meant to just take us to the airport, and I kid you fucking not, this lady, this ambassador, when we were asking like what, because she was like, okay, we have to get in this van, we're going to the airport. We're like, what do we do at the airport?
Chill,
Like,
hang.
we
You
have
live
no
there.
money, we have no phones, and she literally says, guys, I'm not your babysitter.
Like you kind of are.
Okay.
What's your job then?
Yeah, like you kind of are.
Yeah, we've been in fucking jail. Yeah, give me one cigarette.
One cigarette.
So they have us driving back, and thankfully we got a hold of the American delegation of the Global Sumud Flotilla, and they were like, "Fuck the airport. There aren't even flights going out this afternoon. Come to the Landmark Hotel."
Yeah.
Okay. We get to the Landmark Hotel, and it is fucking night and day, because I don't know if y'all have been to Jordan, but you should definitely go. The main city, Amman, beautiful. Most of the people there have some kind of connection to Palestine. There are a lot of Palestinians there, a lot of Palestinian diaspora. And we were gross, dude. I mean, like, okay, so picture, a week of being in a terrorist prison, not being allowed to shower with just cells full of bodies. And then picture that is coming after a month of sailing in a tiny boat with other people piled up around you. Fucking, we didn't have water to spare.
I actually couldn't believe how good you looked when you got off the
Thank
plane
you.
at JFK.
Thank you.
I was
That's all thanks to
amazed.
Jordan, baby. Yeah, so we show up there, and they immediately took us in. Like, the owner of the hotel, she's down there. Hannah, she's an activist. She's hugging each of us.
Yeah.
And, like, we reeked. We smelled so bad. And she's telling us, like, there's a buffet for you guys upstairs. I come upstairs, and Carsey is already up there staring, and she looks at me, and she just goes, "Chocolate fountain." And just starts crying. Just starts weeping. All of us who were on hunger strike, in the elevator going up, we were like, all right, nobody eat too much. We have to start small. We have to start with like soup.
refeeding syndrome.
Yeah, we have to go slow. And then we saw the spread, and we said, fuck that. Fuck that. I'm gonna eat everything. I'm gonna eat two of everything. And we did. I had such a tummy ache. It was so worth it.
Yeah, but it was worth it.
So worth it. Yeah, we had such a fucking reception in Jordan.
Didn't you have like an allergic reaction to something, and you were like,
I
"I'm
did,
gonna go
yeah.
get more"?
Yeah. I stuck. I was like, does my tongue look funny? My friend was like, yeah, you're having an allergic reaction. I was like, I'm gonna get more food. He's like, you're having an allergic reaction. I was like, I'm gonna get different food.
You're gonna get new
food. But they had everything set up for us there. This keffiyeh was handmade by a Palestinian woman and given as a gift there in Jordan.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, when Dane and their comrades stepped off the plane, we were looking for like the Jersey gray prison uniform, and you guys all came out and you looked great. Who gave you these clothes?
Thank you. Comrades.
Love it.
Yeah, Jordanian comrades.
That's amazing.
And like our taxi driver the next morning, he worked nights, he let us know, and he finished his shift and he was getting ready to go home and heard one of the taxi guys or his boss talking about how, they're going to this hotel to pick up the Sumud people. And he was like, thank you so much.
I'm gonna
demanded that they let him come pick us up and not charge us.
That's amazing.
Yeah. He was the gentleman who was driving us to the airport and told us that Palestinians, including his family, got to go fishing for the 2 days that we had been distracted.
Which is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So then they finally stuck you on a plane.
Yep. So we had the royal treatment, Qatar, all of these folks loving us, wanting to come chat, take pictures, and then we land in JFK.
And then
stepping off the plane, I saw the first Customs Border Patrol guy because, he had his badge out. And I just kept walking, and then I saw the first two plainclothes officers. And then I turned the corner, and I kept walking. And then I saw the next three plainclothes officers. And then I turned, and I kept walking. And I saw the other dude with the badge hanging out. And then I waited in front of immigration until I saw all of my other comrades being marched out by these people. And I pointed at them. I was like, yeah. And they were like, yeah, he's the last one. Yeah. And so they ran me up. And they kept saying, nobody's in trouble. Like, we're here for you guys.
Shut
like,
the fuck up.
We're like, okay, but what do you want?
Wrong.
And they were just like, so where are you flying from? I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, like, fuck you, man.
What
you
do you
know.
want? And
you know.
So very quick interrogation because we basically just keep our fucking mouths shut. And then they're like, okay, like, thank you for bearing with us. We just have to, cross the I's and dot the T's. How it goes. We're just going to lead you out this door here. Whatever. And then they're leading us out of the airport. And then we hear fucking distant drums and people and our loved ones' voices.
That was
us.
And
we're like, what's going on over there, though? And they're like, nothing. Don't worry about it. Here's the exit. The subway's that way. There are taxis right here. And we were like, are we under arrest? And they're like, no. And we're like, great. We're going to go this way.
No, and at that point, they had set it up so, like, we were facing, like, this way, right? With the typical, like, exit terminal. And I had, like, said in this crowd of, like, holy shit, thank you so much. I have work at 7 a.m. In this crowd of, like, there was close to 100 people there, probably. You guys were there, close to 100 people. I said into this crowd, like, friends and family of the folks coming off the flotilla first at this barricade. We anticipated them coming off with everybody else that was coming out of airplanes. And then all of a sudden we hear screaming. We whip around, and there they are over there.
So we were standing behind everybody for a minute.
It was,
and we...
They told all of the friends and family to go towards the front. Yeah. They told us all to go towards the front.
That's true. TSA told us to face one way.
The TSA told...
So when you guys came out, all the friends and family were at the back.
The TSA told friends and family where to go, and they led them as far away from us as possible.
Yeah, it was really fucked up, but we found you.
And so we were standing behind you guys.
Yeah.
And we could hear everybody. We could hear the drums. We saw all these Palestinian flags waving.
Yeah.
And one of my friends was like, "You think they're here for us?"
I felt like a cameraman on that show, Maury. You guys remember Maury? Because Olivia took off into this crowd, and our friend Shep lives in Ireland right now, and so couldn't be here for this. And Shep gave me specific instructions: film this and photograph this as if I was there. I want to feel like I was there. So I took off. The camera is like, it's insane. So you came back into JFK, and for the
I saw Liv sprinting at me, and
it was amazing.
Yeah,
it was gorgeous.
My very first thought was, oh my god, somebody that I love.
So
my very
beautiful.
Second thought was, oh my god, my bruised ribs. Fuck.
Oh, Olivia. Yeah. So now you're back, and your question was, you've said that you're gonna get on the next flotilla, which is fucking incredible. How do we keep up with you? How do we make sure you're safe? What is your call to action now?
Okay, so to keep up with me, I'm your boy Dane, obviously.
If you go on the Queer Comedy for Gaza Instagram and you look at the post for this event, Dane is like one of the collaborators. So you can find them that way. And
I don't fucking live anywhere. I haven't paid rent in 2 years. I just jump on boats. So if you know a boat that's got to go from some place to some other place and they got money, let me know. Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly in the Caribbean. But activism can be done fucking anywhere that you are.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that we can do is fucking speak with our wallet. Fucking boycott, dude. I'm serious. It's one of the biggest things that you can do. There's different apps out there. Boycat is one of them.
Boycat's a really good one.
Yeah, and it'll let you know really easily, really quickly if what you're buying is funding this fucking genocide. So, like, speaking with your money, that's one of the biggest, easiest things that we can do, and it genuinely has a lot of effect. Anytime there's a tactic that people talk about as being ineffective, they're doing that because it's effective.
Yeah.
Boycotting seriously works.
Yeah.
Next to that, I mean, if you can get involved in direct action, like, one of my crew was asking me before we set sail, like, while we were chatting on the dock, they were like, outside of everything, like, is this going to be dangerous? And I said, no, the ocean's never killed anybody. Fucking yeah, it's gonna be dangerous. And so it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But again, like all of us who were going on this mission, we were only effective because of how many people we had back home.
Yeah.
And so just keeping up with things going on. If anybody's feeling like getting involved in a direct action right now, it's not sailing, but going out to the West Bank, just to have a passport and a phone that can record video, you can protect people during the olive harvest.
Yeah.
Like just your presence can protect people.
Yeah. That's something I plan on doing in the next couple months.
What about the humanitarian clowns or those curious?
So one of my shipmates, Ipshita, one of our best helmsmen, by the way, on the boat, she hadn't sailed before, but she fucking took to it like a natural. Her job is to be a humanitarian clown, believe it or not. So their mission is to come into places that need them and entertain the children. And until you've been in a place like that, it might not seem like the most important thing. But if you don't want to fucking live anymore because of the, you haven't seen your kids smile in fucking 2 years.
Yeah.
Like everyone that we spoke with, who was a parent, it's like they would much rather see their kid fucking smiling than have food that day easily.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly the org that she's a part of, but yeah, humanitarian clown, it's a profession that people do.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a calling, that might be it. And then the last thing I'll throw in is, again, I really want to stress this Muhammad Ibrahim thing. Call fucking Florida reps, dude. Fucking go on Google Earth, pick an address, be like, yeah, I'm a constituent. Fucking
pick
lie
a
to
zip
them.
code.
I don't care. They lie all the time. Fuck
pick
them.
one of the colleges.
There's
a lot.
Yeah, but pressure those motherfuckers, because this is a kid from Florida who's been held for 8 months, had his 16th birthday in a fucking terrorist torture prison. Which again, also like my treatment, which I've barely grazed, which was bad, fucking nothing compared to what Palestinians go through out there. And the fact that there are children out there, 400 children in those prisons, like, nah, we gotta bring them all home, but
all of them.
Fucking at the very least, we gotta make an argument for Muhammad.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on this that there are a lot of groups local in New York City that do a lot of really incredible work for Palestine and also for our own communities, because liberation is liberation no matter where it is, and all liberation is tied to each other. Palestinian liberation is queer liberation, is racial equity, is gender equity. All of these things
100%.
are connected and they are one thing. So getting involved in your local communities on the Queer Comedy for Gaza Instagram, I don't mean to keep, I'm not trying to plug myself, right? But there is a link tree in the bio, and on that there's a tab that says get involved. And there are tons of different orgs here in New York City, because trying to tackle something like an oppressive occupation or an apartheid feels really big and really scary. But there are things that we can be doing here at home. SNAP is about to get shut off next month because of this government shutdown. Organize a food drive, organize a community Thanksgiving, feed your community, feed your people, get in touch with local businesses. Sunset Stoop is so kind to us as Queer Comedy for Gaza, and they let us host our events here for free. Just talk to people and get involved. I am the face behind Queer Comedy for Gaza. If I can do it as an individual, you can do it as an individual too. And if you want any help with that, find me. And I'm happy to do that for you. Queer Comedy for Gaza, also, we do comedy shows and variety shows every couple months. Because it's just me, I can't do them as regular as I want to be. But we do these shows, and all the proceeds go towards relief efforts in Gaza and beyond. We've raised over $5,000 in the last year-ish, and all of that has gone to direct relief. We're not donating to organizations. We're not donating to third parties. We're donating to GoFundMe's on the ground. And that brings me to my final point here on my end. I saw the QR code passing around because we do have to wrap up. We did raise $222.22. $222.22 100% feels like an angel number. So thank you so much for that. We'll post the receipts of the donations on the Queer Comedy for Gaza Instagram, so you can see exactly where your money goes. If anyone wants to donate a little bit more or share with people who couldn't be here, that's cool too. The Venmo is at AL_KLEE. The photo is the Queer Comedy for Gaza logo.
It's at the bar.
It's also at the bar. And please take those little quarter-size stickers because they're fucking ridiculous. Dane, I want to say thank you so much to you for your activism and for your work. When I asked you to write a bio for yourself, I was like, this is stupid. I feel like I could just talk about how you are like truly one of the most incredible people I've ever met. And I think I was talking to like Liv in the group chat about this, how like I don't know Dane. I don't know you like super closely, right? Like we've never hung out one-on-one, but from the times that I have met you and the times that I have known you, like I just like knew immediately like your energy is so special and you are so good. And it really is like such an honor and a privilege to get to know you and to get to like help facilitate sharing your story. And I can't wait to do this again when you come back from the next flotilla. That hopefully is a success.
Yes.
So,
Thank
yes.
you.
Is there like a group chat or anything? Like
So the group chat that I keep referring is like a friends and family of Dane.
Right.
So it's like but
is there like a public one though?
That was.
I'm not sure about a public kind of dialogue with these folks, but once they put up kind of a call to action, like looking for submissions of people,
Yeah.
I'll be sharing that on my page. I'm sure.
yeah,
Al will share it as
we can
well.
collaborate. Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah.
Instagram is
Ya boy Dane. So that's
_
YABOI_Dane.
It's like they are a collaborator. It's there. So you can find it there and we'll collaborate on posts and we'll
and
yeah.
let me just stress one last time that the oppressor, they function through division, right?
Right.
Like they put up walls, they utilize racism, they utilize these fucking borders against us. And so the best thing that we can do to combat this is exactly what Al was saying. It's fucking community.
Yeah.
Right? Like these ships, it was community. Everything that was behind this community.
Yeah.
Raising these funds tonight, community.
Yeah, like
Just
this is
chatting with
community.
you. This is community.
Yeah.
Here, And that's the shit that they're scared of. And that's the shit that we got to keep projecting. So thank you all as my community for having so much support.
Thank you, Dane.
Thank you.
Thank you.